Okay, sorry. Got cut off again. Okay. So this dude is dealing with how he feels towards women, but
this evil is going to consume me. So what should I do? I don't want to be.
His name is David.
I don't want to betray him. So you start thinking, no matter how hard, no matter how much you pray, how much you fast, you start thinking, well, is it better if I I'm not here anymore. You just consider, because if I'm here, this is eventually going to explode out of me and I'm going to become evil. And you don't want that to happen. You want to be good with God. And so I was praying and one day I was just praying and got on my knees. I said, God, if you're really there, and if you really have a purpose for me, just please take this from me and please change me, because I don't want to be a way I shouldn't. I don't want to be like this, and I don't know why I am. And I just basically heard what I understood as what was always God told me, David, you need to stop asking me this. You're asking me the wrong thing. Because I don't intend to change you. You've been spending over half of your life now praying about this, asking me to change something that I don't intend to change. Because I created you like this. Yeah, and I just said, but I don't want to mess up. And he said, well, perhaps you need to do what you think are mistakes, and you're going to realize that they weren't mistakes to begin with.
That's okay to be, brave.
That's our mistakes, right?
What about it made you want to share? And what did you want to share?
Well, I realized when I was going through it, when I came out publicly,
but that's what I mean.
Thousands of messages of people going through the same thing.
If you feel like you can't relate to women, right? Which is what he's talking about, right?
And
well, ask, how do you feel, and what do you feel women are? Some men demonize women to men, right?
The church leaders in there is like, well, don't get married. You can get to know guys, but don't get married, because then you're just having unnatural sex. And I was just like, it's so interesting that you talk about marriage as if it's only about sex, because the way you've raised me to believe marriage is it's a beautiful partnership where you want to share your life with them, help someone progress, and help them reach their goals, create goals together, create a family, even if it's not the way that I was taught that it needed to look. You can still have a family being part of the LGBT community.
But that's the question.
Thank you.
More with David. We'll be right back.
Right. Too. Mm-hmm. Now, you also demonize women. I know. You blame me. Trust me, Adam knew what he was doing. Maybe more so because she was made last. I know. By the way, the first shall be last and the last shall be first applies to her as well. Oh. Let's get back to the Song of Solomon now. So we were reading in verse, I think it's, your neck with strings of jewels, we will add wreaths of gold to your spangles of silver. While the king was on his couch, my nard gave forth its fragrance. My beloved to me is a bag of myrrh. And between my breasts, my beloved to me is a spray of hymna, blooms from the vineyard of Engedi. Ah, you are fair, my darling. Ah, you are fair. with your doves like eyes, not just when doves cry, with their dove eyes. And you, my beloved, are handsome, beautiful indeed, right? Our couch is in a bower. Cedars are the beams of our house. Cypress, the rafters. So this is also talking about going from the field into a house, right? Right. Being decked with jewels, right? And silver, right? Again. Though Paul tells you don't wear these things as well. But he's contradicting the old, right? What does Paul mean, right? Well, basically it means be discreet, wear what you want to wear, but don't be too flashy because you might attract, for instance, thieves, right? If you wear too much, right?
Basically, I had actually written it like a year and a half ago, and it was just to be fun. It was like a fun tempo song about relationship. But now that I came out, I changed the verse, changed the pre-chorus to fit more where I am at in life now. Changed the production.
But you're not to judge him, right?
Allow yourself to love who you
or her. And whatever they're going through, right? It's a temptation, okay, right? One he feels he can't resist. Right now. If you're addicted to something, right? You also don't know why. But, right.
This is another fun one.
Yeah. That's a better.
Now it's also what he was taught, how he's processing it, right? And feels when he's actually with a female or a male.
Yeah, I do Christmas shows like every year. They've always been my favorite ones to do. I have 2 Christmas albums, so I'll be going to out west, mostly Utah, Nevada, Arizona, Texas. So
It sounds like fun. I'm gonna make sure I get to that. It's gonna be awesome.
thank you.
Now, like I
So let's read the King James Version, right?
Season Idol. I was on season 3, and you used to watch me. So how were you, 12?
I used to. Something out there, yeah.
The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine. Because of the savor of thy good ointment, thy name is as ointment poured forth. Therefore do the virgins love thee. Draw me, we will run after thee. The king hath brought me into his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in thee. We will remember thy love more than wine. The upright love you, or thee. I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me when they made me the keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyard have I not kept. Meaning she wasn't out in the sun, right? Right. In other words, like her relatives were. And even white people tan, right? In the sun. You get darker, huh? Right. Dummy. Tell me, some of you burn, but you still turn lobster red. Why are you a lobster in the summer? Same reason their family turned black, dark skinned, because of the hot climate of Africa. But they're not dark in skin color, so you can bring them from Africa to America because you can't stand the heat, right? And make it work for you in the field. Lazy bastard. Excuse my French there, YouTube, right? Tell me, O thou whom my soul loveth, where thou feedest, where thou makest thy flock to rest at noon. For why should I be as one that turneth aside by the flocks of thy companions? If thou know not, O thou fairest among women, go thy way forth by the footsteps of the flock, and feed thy kids besides the shepherd's tents. I have compared thee, O my love, to a company of horses in Pharaoh's chariots, right? Mares are female horses, right? Stallions are males. Okay. Right. Thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, thy necks with chains of gold. Now they say again, right? We will make thee borders of gold with studs of silver, right? So it's a little different here, right? But it's still talking about the woman wearing jewelry, right? Though Paul advises against it because of thieves in his day, right? But today, right, whatever you want to wear is still a choice, right? Is it a sin to wear jewelry? No. Is it not a sin to wear jewelry? No. You don't have to wear jewelry. Nor is it a sin to wear jewelry. What does that mean? It's a choice. It's a choice, right? And it's not a heresy unto death, right? Okay. It don't kill you to wear the jewelry or not, right? Depending on how flashy it is, even, right? But if you got bling, right? Like the rappers, right? Maybe that's too much bling. I don't know, right? But not for them, right? See what I mean? Right? Thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, thy necks with chains of gold. We will make thee borders of gold with studs of silver. While the king sitteth at his table, there it said couch. My splendor, or my spikenard, right, whatever that is, sendeth forth the smell thereof. But she's holding the spikenard, whatever the hell that is, right? Mm-hmm. A bundle of myrrh is my well-beloved right, unto me. He shall be all night betwixt my breast, right? You know, right. That's graphic, right? He's laying between her two pillows, her two breasts, right? And the size probably don't matter to him, right? Mm-hmm. Or hopefully her, right? My beloved is unto me as a cluster of camphines, whatever those are, in the vineyard of Engedi. Behold, thou art fair, my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thou hast dove's eyes, which can cry tears of the dove. Behold, thou art fair, my brethren, beloved, right? Wrong word again, right? Yea, pleasant also our bed is green. The beams of our house are cedars, and our rafters of fir. So, why am I reading the different way they even pronounce it or say it or all that too? Well, you're interpreting something there. When you're interpreting something, right, different people might think the word means one thing and might think it means another, right? It's not your language you're interpreting it from, right? You're interpreting it into your language, right? Well, some things get lost in translation, as they say. So one more version, But see, if you don't believe me, you make me have to prove it to you. You're wrong. If you simply say, we both made a mistake and move on, we both move on, right? Okay? Do you understand what I mean? But you're still an ex-girlfriend, even if for 3 days, right? Most people, if the person was with them, have to tell the story if they're doing a life story, right? And how they met you, right? How you seemed to hit it off, and then it blew up in his face. Okay? No matter who it is. If it's my ex-wife, if it's one of my ex-girlfriends, and we had premarital sex and saw it differently, right? Even then, one of us apparently reads the whole Bible and one of us didn't, right? And one of us understood more what Jesus was talking about them changing the law in the first place, especially with honoring your mother and father, right? He didn't even like how they were trying to stone the woman caught in the act of adultery, who they would have to know was committing the adultery to catch her, right? Why didn't you stop her before she committed the adultery if you knew she was going to commit the adultery, right? Why didn't you stop her yourself? Ever think of that? Right? I mean, Now you let her start having sex with this dude. You don't bring the dude and the woman as the law says. Both of them did it, right? Both of them were to be stoned, right? It's like you can't understand that. One ain't more guilty Satan lovers, right? And Satan deniers than the other, right? Both were playing like they were both equally interested in the other, right? Or nothing could have got past first base, right? First base is just kissing. Second and third base are called, more physical contact going down, right? Taking off her shorts and underwear is going down towards home, right? And when you slide it in home, you hit a home run, right? When you complete the task. Right? And the anointing oil of the male goes into the female. Metaphorically speaking, right? And if she got pregnant 9 months later, she could have a baby. It's not just the kissing, right? Like the nursery rhyme. Now, this is how they told it, though. Shane and Sheena sitting in the tree. Kissing, right? First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes Shane with the baby carriage, right? They would use that ain't there, right? See, I gotta go get the baby carriage for us, Sheena, right? There we go. Now, what actually happened, though, is Shane and Sheena under a tree. Kissing, right? We're kissing first, right? First comes sex, but no marriage. Don't know if she even wanted the baby carriage, right? But we did have the sex part, right? Right. Get the point? Right. I don't know what happened. She didn't tell me. She blew up on me, right? Though I told her something later. You didn't tell her first, right? But did I lie to her? No. Did I intend on telling her? Yeah. And told her, right? Whatever it was, I thought she needed to hear, right? To also either be with me or break up with me, right? If she herself told me she didn't think she looked that good and I had to tell her, well, I think you're beautiful, right? You know what I mean? What would be sarcastically the opposite of that? Telling her what? I think you're ugly? I thought you were ugly when I first met you? Right. That's sarcasm. But I thought you were pretty. I like your look, right? I tried to lift you up, right? Love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles fly on the mountain high. Love lift us up where we belong, far from the world below, up where the clear winds blow. Now, does that sound like someone who would call you ugly literally or sarcastically if he made love to you under the tree? And he was trying to say you were beautiful then, right? But you suddenly bugged out, right? No explanation, no letter for about a month, and then you send him a breakup letter, right? And he just starts sending you Bible studies. He don't know what else to do, right? So, two, both maybe sarcastic letters and literal letters, right? Kind of two, right? Don't know what to say to you after that either, right? And if I'm raised differently than you, that's part of the problem too, right? What offends you might have been told to me in a different way, but it don't mean I meant to really offend you. And then if I did offend you, right, I can't take it back and say I'm sorry. Not saying I'm not willing to. Right. Yeah, I'm willing to. I know. Right. Alright. But already we have two different versions of the same verse. One talks about gold, one doesn't, right? One goes in a different way slightly, and one's similar, some of it similar, right? But the key point is they're kissing and he's laying in her breast. I think that's to her there, right? So she's obviously one of his lovers, and Solomon had 1,000, by the way. And sometimes you talk to people normally, and sometimes sarcastically, because you don't know what to say, right? It don't mean you mean it either. I know. But when you're abusing someone, you're also giving them an excuse just to break up with you, right? If you want to break up with me and I say bad things to you, you never wanted me like I wanted you in the first place is what I'm saying, right? They're just words. Sticks and stones, you ever heard that little nursery rhyme as well? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words could never harm me, right? Well, that's what I was taught too. I was picked on. I know. I know. You don't know I wasn't called the N-word or something, right? When I was a kid. Maybe I was. Maybe I wasn't. But do you care, right? To you, I'm white now, right? But when I was a kid, I might not have been as white as I am now, right? You know, growing up, you're exposed to things differently than other people sometimes too, right? And what I don't tell you, right, you might not care anyway. But if I'm white now, you don't know me as a child, right? You don't know what I went through, right? Only I don't even remember it all. By the way. Right. But if I know the N-word like you know the N-word, and I see white people using it on black people, and black people on black people, right? What am I supposed to think? It's a common word. It's a common word, right? We all use on each other. Now, if you do it in a comedy skit, right? Even if Richard Pryor said to Chevy Chase, dead honky, right? He didn't actually kill Chevy Chase. So you take it as a comedy skit. See what I mean? You don't know, but I don't know what it means, right? Do you? I'm not using it either, right? As anything other than, right? I've heard it used before, right? As a word, which can be positive or negative, right? And its connotation. If I say GDMFNIGGER, right? I heard that somewhere before, huh? From you and them, and from us and them, right? But I'm not trying to be mean about it. I just heard it somewhere. And repeating like all children do what they heard someone else say, right? And in the same way they said it to you too, or me too, right? But the thing about the word is it's been in use for 450,000 years, right? You know what I mean? Right? It's been used before, right? It'll be used again, right? Even behind your back, right? Would you sooner them think it in their head while looking at you in your face, right? Or just say it, get it over with, get it out your mouth, and leave it alone. You know what I mean, too, right? They don't have to say it in your presence, but that don't mean they ain't saying it behind your back. You know that too, right? Right. The thing about hatred is it stirs up strife in you. If they're using it in a hateful way, which I try not to, you know, I try to use it in a comedic way, right? If I use it at all, right? Or I try to make a point. Did I call you the N-word when we were together? No, not once. Not once. The 3 days we were together, I never used any vile language on you at all. I was a perfect gentleman. Now, if you don't want me, right, I don't know why you're not writing me suddenly, right? I start worrying what's going on, right? Or my shipmate said, I don't know. But whatever happened to get you irate or mad about it, right? Maybe it was also a little bit sarcastic, right? Whatever offended you, right? And the point was, you know, was I talking like this before we met, right? Was I giving you a reason to think I felt that way, right? When I didn't when we first met, right? And what am I really trying to see? Does this bitch even love me? Or was she the one fronting that she wanted me for sex, right? And thought I was cute, right? And was just using me for sex, right? Because she wasn't having a lot of sex herself. Mm-hmm. And she reminded me of my dream girl. Mm-hmm. But a little darker, maybe, right? But I accepted you as you were, right? And all I could do now is say, yes, I overreacted, but I didn't know what else to say to you, and I'm sorry, right? After all this time, too, right? And you can only apologize so much to a person, and it says, godly sorrow worketh repentance, though, right? Okay, whatever I'm saying then, you don't know what I'm going through before we met, either, right? It's the whole point, right? But I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep too, right? The Lord does. The Lord does. I don't know you. You don't know me. A chance encounter can either go good or bad, right? As far as I knew, it was going good, right? On both sides, right? Until we started writing, right? Ship to ship. Mm-hmm. And then something happened to mess it up, right? Well, I ain't the only one who can write you from my ship, right? Either. Sabotage is where your shipmates want you to be gay, but you meet a new girlfriend, and that ruins their idea that you're gay, right? Don't it? Don't it? But they want you to be gay with them. They want to frolic with you. And you keep telling them no. They won't take no as the answer, and you don't know what the hell they're doing to you. And they're putting you on a time schedule where you're tired, groggy, a bit, what's the word? Grumpy? Right. Might be at a certain time pissed off with them in you, right? Trying to find a girlfriend anyway because of them, right? Mm-hmm. Thought you could be the one, right? But then I don't hear from you for almost a month. When I do, you're breaking up with me. All I'm doing is trying to follow a logical chain of events, right? Sending you Bible studies. I don't know how many letters I wrote you. I'm not counting them, right? But they're mostly Bible studies and trying to talk to you about my life in Georgia and dealing with things I had to deal with growing up, including racism myself. Believe it or not, white to you might not be white here. Uh-huh. You might think I'm white to you, but you might be white enough. Might not be white enough. And again. But even calling me an Indian or Chinese. I'm not, by the way, right? But one boy was calling me Asian, right? Nothing to be offended about. But guess what? I'm not Asian, right? He's doing it to pick on me, right? Do I look Asian? Caucasian, mixed Asian, mixed Caucasian, right? What do you think? What do you think? What if I have Nigerian in me, didn't even know it? Or Arabic, didn't even know it? Those are dark skins, somewhat, right? Though it's also European, from Spain to Greece, right? To Italy. Can favor that too, huh? Right. And then English people are brown-eyed, brown-haired, right? Some of them. Irish too. They're not all red-haired with green eyes or blue eyes. But whatever. Still. Because the point is that you're reading this that you're not, right? The first chapter alone is the most sexually graphic, right? You ever heard the Bible in your life? You know, I know. I never read it myself till after I got out the Navy. Whole time, Pastor Davis or some other church is pushing their verses on me, right? Not the whole Bible, what they like. Wait a minute now, Christian. You're supposed to teach the whole Bible and nothing but the whole Bible, so help you God, right? So you're not preaching the whole Bible at all. None of you are. You're preaching your version of it, right? Which means some of it you're ignoring and some of it you're not. And then you're blaming the Jews for doing the same thing, but you're worse than them, right? Because you know about Jesus and they don't believe in him like you do, right? Okay. Is that better or worse? Even Jesus says to some of you, I don't know you. You think you're casting out demons in my name, right? You think you're doing good works in my name, but you're not, right? What you're really doing is hypocrisy, right? As you're trying to call me a hypocrite, you're not reading your Bible. Which I read over 5 times before I decided to go on disability, right, by the way. And when I did, I got it, right? Because I read the whole thing, right? The whole thing talks about Hosea marrying a prostitute. Samson was with one to midnight. From evening, around 6 or whatever it was back then, right? If it was in the summertime, it was 6 to 12. If in the wintertime, maybe later. Depends on the time of the year, right? He went into her too, right? But it was at least, let's say, 3 to 6 hours, maybe, right? Well, 3 hours is enough to have sex with the prostitute more than once. Okay, that means he's pounding her candy butt. Or ASS. I know. I don't know. Let's see if you can come up with an acronym for ASS, right? A. SS, right? What can we say about the ASS? Right. But but see, then your forefathers are lying to you like they did in Jesus' day, right? And that's what Paul realized. Hey, they're lying to me, right? I had to go and read the Bible over a 3-year period to realize they were. Too. I did the same thing, kind of, right? You're not reading it. Therefore, you're pretending you understand it just like they did, right? And that's the point about Jesus, too, right? That was his problem, right? They thought they knew who their Messiah was, but when he actually showed up, Peter, right, not only did he deny him 3 times, but maybe 3.5, right? In favor of his philo, his brothers, over agapeus, true love or charity love with the female, and females. Theos is goddesses. Two. Thea is goddess, but they do it in the Hebrew Greek, right? Which ain't, it's called Koine Greek, right? You know, like kosher, but right. It is, sometimes they'll spell words differently, right? Especially the Septuagint, especially for female breasts, right? Now, the word for male chest is the same, right? But only one idol, Nebuchadnezzar's idol that he dreamed about, even uses the word chest, and it's called, the chest was made out of silver, right? And it was the breast of a man, right? Stethos is used there, right? But you're not to make idols male or female. Neither. Not one or the other, or one and the other, right? What does that mean at all? Neither one. If God has an image, just not male or female, nor male and female, who are both one in Christ Jesus, right? Oh, wait a minute now, right? Then you don't want to understand, right? And all a person can do until they die is try to explain it to you. Nothing wrong with that either. Even if you don't want to listen, right? Sometimes all I need is the air that I breathe and to love you. That's what we're supposed to really be doing, just loving each other, right? But if he feels, right, like something's wrong, right, with him, right, and he don't feel the same as you, right, do you murder him for it, or do you work with him, right, in finding someone suitable for him, right? And don't judge him anyway, right? As Jesus said, right? Not to do. But if you know you feel attracted towards the same sex, it still don't mean you gotta be promiscuous about it and sleep with every person out there, right? If you know what I mean, right? But some people think you want to anyway. That too is stereotypical of them, right? And you don't really know. You don't really know. See, that don't mean a gay person doesn't deserve the same idea of safety, right, as a straight person who's dating a woman, right? Uh-oh. Now, I have read another chapter, and in this chapter, she's talking about foreplay, but without penetration, right? The thing about that, with Miss Hollander's book, is that she's trying to get it not in the vagina, but around the vagina, right? Not inside, but outside, right? And the thing about that is, right, you don't want to get her pregnant back then either, right? So what you do is you rub it on the outside where the penis, right, and vagina are both stimulated, right? But you don't put it in, right? That's no sex, right? Alright, and if you do finish, you don't do it on her vagina, but on her belly. She didn't say that, but I'm adding that to it. She'll know what I mean, right? Not you, Miss Hollander, right? She would understand the reference about doing it on the belly instead of on the vagina, right? You still might get her pregnant, right? But you can also, she suggested a way to do it from behind, right? Do it through the thighs, right? Now you need lube, of course, right? She said that too, right? I'm saying it a little out of order. I gotta put it in my own words. Two. You gotta do that with any story. Even Taylor's version of our new video, right? You can see elements of Cinderella in it, and maybe a little Moulin Rouge, maybe a little bathing in the champagne glass. I've seen that somewhere before, I'm sure, right? Something similar, right? But you're borrowing from other people, but putting it in your own frame, right? Your own frame of reference, right? It's still Taylor's material, right? You know why, right? Yeah. See, what I'm doing with the Bible, too, is showing you they're kissing and he's laying in her breast. Already, right? And calling each other lovers. Lover. You need to calm down. You need to calm down. But see, you were told by Paul and Moses, right? What that means if you judge people, right? It's an abomination to those who judge and stir up strife, right? You're hating a person simply for finding the same sex attractive, right? And what do you want to do about it? Kill them? Right? Stone them? You still don't get sarcasm in the Bible either, do you, right? Now, here's the point, though, right? Who wrote it, even, right? What Moses, right? See, an autobiographer is different than a biography, right? A biography, you talk about the person you're writing about like a scribe would. The scribe is the person writing down the account, right? Of the things Moses did, right? When they were around Moses. Same with Muhammad, right? Same with Jesus, right? No one, I know, has a letter from Jesus or Moses or Muhammad today. But their followers wrote the book. And here's the problem. What if they were biased against Muhammad himself? I'm serious, right? Why do you have two different sects anyway Islamists, right? Shiites and whatever, right? Whatever the other one is. Shiites and something, right? I don't know, right? I forgot suddenly, right? I'll probably remember if I think about it for a minute, but anyway, Shiites and something. Sunni, something like that. So why are they two different sects, right? Because you two are nitpicking the Quran just like we do the Bible, right? You're not trying to follow the whole thing with the Bible either, right? Did Muhammad kind of wrote it as a companion to the Bible? Well, is it because some of it is sarcastic and some of it is literal? Right. See, the problem about changing the story 500 years later is you were not an eyewitness. But the eyewitnesses claim to have been around Jesus and Moses, right? And they wrote down the accounts. Joshua, Judges, right? Ruth, right? 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Kings, or 1st and 2nd Samuel, and 1st and 2nd Kings, however you want to do it, right? And then 1st and 2nd Chronicles, and so on and so forth, right? Job, Nehemiah, Ezra, Esther, right? Psalms, whatever, right? Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and so on and so forth, right? Daniel, I think. Hosea's in there somewhere, Nehemiah, all that. I don't remember every little detail, right? I'm a man and not God, and I'm not here to change you. I can only change one person, and that's me, right? Same with Jesus, right? Right. But if you're trying to be like Jesus and you're a dick, Jesus wasn't really a dick to anybody. Not even the money changers when he cast them out. He made his point, though, but also, knew they would be there the next year. And the year after, right? Until they quit after the temple was destroyed in 70 AD by Titus, right? And then that practice ceased, right? There was no longer a temple to buy and sell, and therefore you could not do that anymore, right? Okay, do you see, right? The point there, right? Right or wrong, though, right? Jesus did sound the warning, right? And warned you the way you were going, your temple might be destroyed, right? He said it. The only reason one wall was left standing is why the Jews probably told Titus about Jesus' prophecy that the temple would be destroyed and made him asked him to leave one of the walls up, and he said, okay, fine, whatever. But the rest of it was brought down, right? I mean, like, that matters, right? And see, to rebuild it, you still got to tear it down completely and then rebuild from what's left, right? You can't build, like Jesus said, something new on something old. It don't fit, right? You got to, either put new wine into new vessels, right? But not new wine into old vessels, right? Why? They don't fit. If you have a patch, right, you don't put a new patch on an old garment, else the rent is made worse, right? It's more noticeable. You still got to tear down the wall. All in all, you'll just another brick in the wall. And to rebuild the new, you got to tear down the old, right? Otherwise, it won't fit, right? See. And Jesus' prophecy is still fulfilled even if it's 2,000 years later. He said, there shall not remain one stone upon another. If you want to rebuild the temple, well, you got to tear it all down, right? And start from scratch, right? Using Ezekiel's temple. If you want to. But then 2,000 years later, you're still fulfilling Jesus' prophecy. Hypocrites. That's the point of the word, right? You're actors, you're pretenders, right? You're not even showing your own people the whole Bible. Nobody is. Few people are, right? There are many called, but few chosen, right? Even being called by Jesus ain't to be the same as being chosen by Jesus, right? There are only a few of us. John taught of only 2 witnesses during the last days, right? I'm one of the 2. About the time he said I would be here, right? Whether you believe me or not. Bye-bye.